3v3 Judgement of Carrion. Blue team is DaDokisinX as the Plague Champ. Can build turrets, defensive, supportive commander. Fights in range by default but can get melee weapons. Pretty slow. Vintage alongside him as the Inquisitor in the center here. Offensive commander, has lots of snares. Fights in melee by default but can get ranged weapons. And VindicareX over on this west side as the Techmarine, great all-round hero, can build defensive turrets but can pump out some pretty nice damage. On the red team we have xHoLyHammerx as another Inquisitor. Soom in the center as a Ravener Alpha, ranged hero by default, can get melee weapons, great at mobility, can build tunnels. And Spirit over on the west side up against, on the east side sorry, up against DaDokisin. Offensive melee commander, can also support his troops pretty well, engaging some heretics with a special attack. Heretics need to be very careful. Might go down here if the force commander's lucky. No, get away with one member. DaDokisinX goes for double Chaos Space Marines, heavy ranged infantry, pretty decent in melee though. Spirit goes for tactical marines, ranged heavy infantry, with the starter scouts there decapping this wreck point. 3 VPs as always, one in the northeast, natural for blue, one dead center and one in the southwest, natural for red team. Looks like Soom has taken the center for now, up against Vintage. Raven Alpha decapping the wreck point. Double term against Soom, ranged light infantry. This squad has toxin sacks so they can cripple infantry. The other squad is also getting it. Formagaunt's the starting unit, light melee infantry, working on this power gen. Vintage goes for double sentinels, tier 1 vehicle with heavy armor, and another guardsman squad to help keep them repaired perhaps. Inquisitor is crippled, now going after taking out this tunnel. VindicareX goes for tactical marines to start, heavy ranged infantry and devastators. They are set up teams which suppress by default, suppress infantry that is. Soom is back at base healing up. Spirit, just the tactical marines, must be going for assault marines perhaps. Yes, must be. DaDokisinX has double CSM and now Havocs. Like the marine devastators, they are set up teams which suppress by default. They suppress faster than devastators though. Vintage will now try to recap the center. Here comes Soom though. Here comes some of Soom's stuff anyway. This is all of his stuff. Double Termicants and Formagaunts. Ravener Alpha of course also fights in range. So he makes see a big ranged Tyranid blob. Warriors on the way for Soom. Barbed Stranglers perhaps. We have a las turret going up by these guardsmen. Looks like Soom has spotted it and is moving back. Does very nice damage to infantry but does not suppress like the other turrets in the game, which is why it's much cheaper. VindicareX having a very tough time against xHoLyHammerx on this side. You see the Holy Brazier, great choice against Space Marines since it gives you a power melee weapon. Gen goes down completely. Inquisitor is suppressed but she'll be okay. Soon has his warriors on the field. Bob Strangler is purchased. In the meantime they are melee combatants which provide basic synapse to nearby Tyranids, increasing their resistance to damage and giving them a small health buff. They are forced off here though after the Sentinel stomp. 318 plays 294, 2 VPs for blue, then natural and center. Double Havocs for DaDokisin, forcing off these assault marines, which Spirit did go for in the end. Looks like devastators are on their way too. Iron Halo up for the force commander, very popular war gear since the cost was lowered, giving him a shield. Shield is down though, and he's forced off. Soom comes to flank all of these Gale Space Marines, can now force melee on all of them. Catalyst going off, devastating damage, must be on the Hormagaunts I think. Catalyst is a global ability of the Revenant Alpha, giving the squad double damage but taking half of its health in damage during the duration. Used to great effect there on the Hormagaunts. Havoc's now setting up. Hormagaunts can't do much, so just retreat. Barb Strangler Warriors taking Blue's natural. Also VindicareX has gone down at Red's natural. And these Tactical Marines are forced off. xHoLyHammerx, very good player, forcing off VindicareX here. Repurchases his Techmarine. Every player preserving their units pretty well. xHoLyHammerx doing very light tier 1. Double Sentinels though, keeping him in the game. Going after these scouts. The scouts are going to lose health very quickly and just retreat. Centers all blue pretty much. Devastators of VindicareX setting up against this Ravener. Double Sentinels too. We have Flamers on these Guardsmen doing a great job versus these Generators. 290 plays 458. Soom hitting tier 2 right now. Vintage already there, so is xHoLyHammerx, and Spirit will hit it momentarily. DaDokisin and Vindicare both still in tier 1. Looks like Blue are doing pretty good though. Right now, they can get back their natural and push the east side. They can get back into this game. xHoLyHammerx going straight for tier 3 here. Spent very little power in tier 1, only the Holy Brazier as I can make out. Going straight to tier 3, must be for a quick Baneblade because there's lots of great stuff you're missing out on in tier 2. One of the quickest Baneblades ever. VindicareX goes tier 2 now. Soom's Hormagaunts forced off the center, they have their adrenal glands. Force Commander buffing all of these Tyranid units with his battle cry. Has armor phylactery right now, speeding them up. Ravenant Alpha has no war gear. Neither does DaDokisinX, neither does Vintage, and neither does VindicareX. Blue team pushing this east side as Spirit and Soom are both center. Iron Halo up for the Force Commander momentarily, taking it back down so that he can regenerate his energy. Has his Power Fist now. He's fully kitted out, going to be pretty fearsome in melee. Here comes Soom, Hormagaunts, Raveners. Perhaps from his global did not see them being produced. Devastator standoff here. Raveners will surely burrow. Looks like they're standing there being depressed. There they go. Burrow strike on these Havocs, can force melee on them now. Pretty lucky not to lose another member there, I think. Hormagaunts may be able to get one. No. Ravenant Alpha decapping Blue's natural, and that's tough. That's going to be the 2-1 cap, 2-0 cap. Sorry, 245 to 395. Hormagaunts and this huge range blob on these Chaos Space Marines, and they're forced off. Here's a Chimera from Vintage. xHoLyHammerx lost his Guardsmen down to 2 Sentinels, who are shooting at Tactical Marines. Double Sentinels of Vintage still alive and kicking too. No upgrades for them. Not much the Termagants can do. Watch their power get destroyed. 206 plays 395. Only one victory point has bothered to be capped right now. Techmarine's trying to decap it. Guardsman of Vintage taking centre. Ravenant Alpha went down at Blue's natural. DaDokisinX's Plague Champion is taking it back, going for his Plague Fist. He's going to be pretty powerful in melee if he can get into melee, since he's pretty slow. xHoLyHammer indicating that Baneblade is soon, as you can see he's floating tons of resources. Not much Soom's Tyranids can do against Vintage's force here. Devastators from VindicareX also setting up to cover the centre. Devastators of Spirit trying to defend. Vintage decides not to push it and backs off a bit. xHoLyHammer's Inquisitor retaking their natural VP. 2-0 cap for Blue right now. 197 plays 3-4-1. Baneblade is on the way for xHoLyHammer. Super heavy tank, as you can see. Nurgle Worship boosting the regeneration of surrounding infantry. Plague Champion is forced off, got too close to this Devastator. Suppression teams of course do more damage the closer you get to them. Two to 1 cap for Blue team right now. 197 plays 319. Dreadnought on the way for VindicareX. We have Plasma Devastators also. Looks like they're heading to centre. Looks like VindicareX is trying to just keep xHoLyHammer busy while he helps Vintage in centre. Here comes VindicareX's Devastators setting up against two Sentinels. Sentinels really don't like Devastators and are forced off. More Devastators here. Devastator pincer attack. VindicareX now going to decap and hopefully for him cap. We have Spirit and Soom doubling Blue's natural. We have double Corn Marines for DaDokisinX. Pretty tough melee infantry with chain axes, forcing off these Marines. Even the Force Commander doesn't want to get involved right now. Vintage flanks with his Guardsmen, can't really force melee though, since Guardsmen are pathetic in melee. Baneblade is on the field from xHoLyHammer. Super heavy vehicle, has a ridiculous amount of guns. Its weakness is very strong melee units, of which the blue team don't really have. The Dreadnought would be very good against it if it can get into range. Dreadnought is the Space Marine Walker vehicle, starts off in melee, can get ranged weapons. This one does not. xHoLyHammer getting a Guardsman squad to no doubt repair his Sentinel and that Baneblade. Meanwhile, centre, DaDokisinX has his double Corn Marines being worshipped by the heretics, going after this Baneblade. Of course, if you're in melee range of it, it can't really do much to you apart from pepper you with its heavy bolters. Here comes the Dreadnought too. Ogrin's on the way for xHoLyHammer. Very strong melee unit. Hammer of the Witches goes off on the Corn Marines, stopping them in their tracks. Dreadnought trying to do damage. Baneblade's now being repaired by the Guardsman. Holy Brazier going off. Holy Pyre, sorry, is the name of the skill. Here comes some Las Cannon Devastators double. That Baneblade is in huge trouble if they can hit it. Las Cannons of course do great damage to vehicles and snare them. Sentinels are both going to go down. xHoLyHammer, I'm not sure if he was sacrificing them for popcap or what. Ogrin's hitting the field right now. Super heavy infantry, great in melee. Going up against this Dreadnought. Dreadnought's going to go down here. Global repair ability of the Techmarine won't save it. Meanwhile, centre, tons of stuff going off. 50 million Termagants dying here. And here is the Noxious Cloud from the DaDokisinX Plague Champion, which probably killed Odo's Termagants. 2-1 cap for blue team. They pulled this around 197 to 157. Baneblade down to about 3/4 of its health, being repaired back at base. Holy Hammer down to just the Ogryns, Guardsmen and the Baneblade. Ogryns have their Bonehead leader, giving him a disruptability, I forget the name of it. Bloodletters on the field for the DaDokisinX. Very strong melee unit, can teleport too. Very strong in terms of damage, that is. They aren't the toughest, though they do have a phase out ability, rendering them invulnerable. Blue team taking center, they're going to have a 2-0 cap. Holy Hammer taking back his natural VP. It's going to be pretty close. Soom going for a Carnifex. Holy Hammer going for some more Guardsmen. Vintage must be going for a Baneblade of his own, floating tons of resources. Blues look like they're happy to hold center. Red's gearing up for an attack, it looks like. Soom and Spirit up against the DaDokisinX and Vintage. Force Commander leading the way with his Power Fist. Pops his sprint ability. Submarines jump the Devastators. Force Commander pops his shield. Inquisitor could be forced down here. She retreats just in time. Force Commander does get one hit off and almost kills her. Catalyst on these Hormigons, I think. Take out the Sentinel with help from the Force Commander. Here comes the DaDokisinX. Baneblade is center from Holy Hammer. Vintage has his own Baneblade. VindicareX lost tons of stuff, only has a single tactical marine squad. Bloodlet is teleporting on this Baneblade and it's in trouble here. It needs support. Here is a Carnifex, has Thornback, giving it more health and better melee. Going after some Corn Marines. Will we see a charge? There it is. Ouch, almost kills its own Ravener Alpha. Stormtroopers called in by Vintage's Inquisitor, getting their anti-armor kit to no doubt fight this Carnifex. Carnifex spawned its Rippers, which all died very quickly. Plague Champion capping center. He has his Armor of Pestilence, so he's very tough. (1200 health). Stormtroopers forced off from Vintage. Baneblade being repaired. Got Melter Bombed, I think. Last turret going down to cover this VP. Here comes some tactical marines with a sergeant. No weapon upgrade. Also have a librarian on the field for VindicareX. Center is where it's all at. Red team decapping. 169 plays 76. Carnifex just hanging out. Tactical marines and Devastators as well. Should be pushing up, I think, Spirit. Baneblade is going to be so hard to push back. 169 plays 61. Red team trying to retake center. They can't even keep their natural though. Here are some Ogryns to defend. Librarian needs to be very careful trying to cap. And he does, but he will probably die here. No. Might get away. Uses his skill to get away, I forget the name of it, but boosts his speed and makes him less vulnerable to attack. Ouch, that was a Hellfire strike in the centre. VindicareX's Techmarine is going to die. Got his orbs of the Omnistar off and stuns the Baneblade. Vintage's Baneblade can weigh in. There are some Ogryns to defend though. Holy Hammer taking his natural VP back. Blues also retaking their natural. 158 plays 43. Stormtroopers called in. from Holy Hammer. Carnifex charging into the Baneblade, no, decides not to. Perhaps saw these multi-melter stormtroopers. May go all the way back to base to heal up here. 138 plays 43, 2-1 cap for red team. Holy Hammer needs to hold this VP, looks like he's going to camp out there with his Inquisitor. Spirit porting in Assault Terminators, these are unique to the Force Commander. Take out the Techmarine immediately. Can now go after this Baneblade, perhaps they can teleport behind it and get rear armor hits. Start off with the Thunderhammer and Storm Shield. Cannot retreat, of course. Here comes the Force Commander. Lictor, 2 Lictors in fact on the field for Soom. 3 in fact, sorry. Sub Commander. Have Flesh Hook, can also jump, very very annoying. VindicareX's Tactical Marines and Librarian scared off. Reds pretty much have center sewn up here. That's a lot of Marines. This is just Spirit stuff, along with Holy Hammer's Baneblade and a Lictor. Gonna take a long time to repair that Baneblade of vintage. DaDokisinX worshipping his infantry to heal them up. Needs to push center now. 83 to 43, 2-1 cap for red. Map control pretty even throughout the game. VindicareX has another Dreadnought on the field. No upgrades for it yet. Vintage has a Lemon Rust tank, as you saw, being repaired, getting the Vanquisher upgrade. Two Lictors and all of Spirit stuff and the Baneblade. Looks like this is the push. Bloodletter's going after the Force Commander. Oh, Hellfire Strike was that. Dreadnought going off with the Baneblade of Holy Hammer, has taken tons of damage already. It's going to go down here, didn't last long. Here comes Holy Hammer's Guardsman. And there's a Hellfire Strike, ouch. That's a lot of Ted Guardsmen. Baneblade still alive for both players. 38 to 43, so close. Blues lost their natural, they're getting it back. Someone goes down, who's that? That's the Plague Champion. Everything around it is going to take diseasey damage now. Assault Terminators pulling out. Blue team have the 2-1 cap, here's a Carnifex. Soom just has a Carnifex and 3 Lictors now. And Ravenant Alpha's down in the centre. Plague Champion is back up, thanks to the Inquisitor I think, going after this Carnifex which goes down to the Bloodletters. Blue now takes centre, 2-1 cap for them, 37 plays 25, this is so close. Force Commander retaking with his shield up. Baneblade shot. Takes out 2 tactical marine models and the last 2 retreat. Melter Bomb goes off on Holy Hammer's Baneblade, stunning it. Looks like center. No, Force Commander's staying in there trying to cap it. 26 phase 22. Red team have 1 VP cap. Blue have lost their natural again thanks to a Terraform, it looks, Tyranniform even. Force Commander taking tons of damage, staying in there with 221 health. Can pop his shield if needed, has a little bit of energy left for it. It's going to be a 2-1 cap for red team, and I don't think the blues can pull this out. They will cap their natural, but it's 6-22 with a 2-1 cap. It's all That's a concede from the blue team. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.